Well, it's funny, because if you would have asked me that 4 years ago, then, that wasn't even a known thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't until August or September of 19 that was even on my.
It was good.
You're recording it.
Hey, where's my dad?
Hey.
How are you?
Not too bad.
Good.
I for one will, even though I've disagreed with you on occasion, I for one would feel, do honestly feel that you left it better than you found it.
Appreciate that.
And that's
I didn't realize you'd ever disagree with me though.
on occasion.
Doors closed. Oh,
You can go right through here.
can
Two to 260, you don't know for sure.
I? Do you know if it's the night? 216, there's not all of them.
Any overnight shift?
200.
No, okay.
So you gotta get.
Who works Thursday? The overnight.
Got more.
That's like that. And then, for this.
Nobody wants to work day shifts, man. That's why I always get jumped up.
The day shift?
Yeah.
2 month, boy, yeah, I know. For sure. We're gonna, definitely gonna do that, at least.
Actually, I should be good come January, because my guys who kind of tip the place will be back.
And she'll call 911.
Oh, poor guy. Meet him. But
What would happen? Came up because he misses his wheelchair.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Captain's feelings, I can remember. Captain, correspondence,
Yeah,
would you look at that, see if you are interested in attending?
okay.
It's the win.
Oh,
One.
in Cheyenne.
Yeah, I think it's on this round. Well, hi, how are you?
Yeah. We put press.
Just rolling along.
How many were there? Throughout the day, there was probably close to 100 people. It
It's fun.
was good.
Thank you to be hanging where your bag is.
Danny brought cookies. Yeah, Danny had cookies, hot chocolate, and then had pizza and cookies. And we had skates that are just on loan. I didn't have them to rent that day. I just said, these are just to try, and if you want to rent them, come back to the office, then we'll do it.
Okay.
And then they had their
That's why I didn't.
whole setup.
Should be.
They had like some little Zamboni thing that they
Yeah,
put the ice over with that morning.
yeah, cool.
Kids could
Pictures were good.
like break their arm without any support. Great. They think they can do it by themselves now, which you pretty much can. I mean,
Carpet help.
Hmm?
The carpet help.
did states, I mean,
Yeah,
that snow helped too.
yeah.
But it was fun.
Good. I was sorry to miss it. Next one.
All right, call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible.
Marie, would you take roll?
Nelson,
Here.
Councilwoman Knapp. Here. Councilwoman Campbell is absent. Councilman Hutchins.
Here.
Mayor James.
Here. Moving on to approval of the agenda. I only have one thing that I saw on here, and that is under police department. Pay raise for dispatcher.
About the letter to Lewis and Lewis under our sergeant power clerk.
Sure.
We're doing an executive session,
I don't have news.
right, executive session. Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving to approval of the minutes. Your motion to approve the regular minutes from the December 6th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to approval of the bills. Your motion to approve deposits in the amount of $388,668.43.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve accounts payable in the amount of $91,754.87?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve payroll in the amount of $34,470.99? All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve transmittals for $26,214.82?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to correspondence. First up is the 2023 RAM conference from January 25th through January 27th. Maria, you emailed this out to the new council? Or Chuck and Mike, have you guys gotten copies of that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And I'm not for sure everyone got it, but yes.
Okay. So and then there's also, next up under correspondence is the 2023 newly elected boot camp at WAM. It's on the 25th, so start your term off right, learn about ethics and conflicts of interest, goals and responsibilities, proper meeting procedure, open meetings law, public records law, municipal budgeting, community and economic development. Then as part of the WAM Winter Conference at the Laramie County Community College.
Can I ask this council if it would be okay for Marie to make reservations, at least for the boot camp for all 5 people? And then if they,
That's important now. Fully support it.
Yep.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
Mhm. Okay, Marie, is there any other?
There's not.
Okay, items from the public. No items from the public, council comments. All right, move on to reports from departments, starting with town hall and the Carbon County Senior Services Agreement.
So this was tabled because they had.
They had some questions and you were gone.
They were looking over the agreement previously and
Okay.
agreed to it. And so now we just have to approve it and sign it.
I'd make the motion to approve and execute the service agreement with Carbon County Senior Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up is Valley Village Childcare.
Following up from last meeting, we have engaged in both Mayor James and the Valley Village Board have signed an appraisal agreement. It's $5,000. And so we're $500 short. I have not asked the Valley Village Board, so I thought I'd come here and ask you if you would up your $2,000 by $500 to match our $2,500.
Your motion,
Motion.
all in favor?
Thank you. So the appraisal is being done on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock, and we will have the report on January 6th. All of the paperwork that was required to support the appraisal has been given to the appraisal person. There is a survey that was started last week, and that survey report will be given to us the week of Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. What we're doing is we're making sure that all of the locations that describe that property are correct and all the pins are in the right place. Valley Village is paying just short of $3,000 for that. The next thing that we had agreed to was a cooperative operating agreement and lease. The draft arrived yesterday, and it is being currently reviewed by Valley Village and Excel. Comments have already been responded by Valley Village, and I expect to see Excel's comments by the end of the week. And the final thing is we've been through all of the land records and the county assessor. And the one thing that I had called Marie about yesterday is originally there were 2 tracts of land in 1991 that were gifted to the town. And right now, the vacant lot is numbered 1212 South River. And the medical clinic on the records is numbered 1212. The county assessor explained that the person or people who assign street numbers are the town. And so I am here asking if we could have a street number assigned that matches how all the mail is addressed, which is 1208 South River Street.
Yeah, that's, Maria talked to me about that, and I think it's Shannon Vivi that I've been emailing all the building permits. So I think all it is just shooting her an email to get that updated.
Thank you very much.
But I was gonna look into that and I just haven't had time to get with Marie on that, but 1208 is the number you're thinking it
Right.
should be.
Yep. I believe that's everything that I was supposed to have happening for you all.
Survey.
The survey is coming, once it's available, I can just forward it to you.
Is that something you're posting on social media or will there be?
No.
Like that?
No, it's coming to us and we'll just share it with you if you'd like.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't a community survey of input or anything like that, it was,
No, we actually engaged a surveyor to do it.
oh, a land survey,
Yes.
got it.
Did I miss something? Oh, I do it. No. A land survey for the pins and the latitude and the longitude and all the rest of that. Okay. And you're more than welcome to. Now I see why you're asking about social media. No, we didn't do that kind of survey. But there are, and I think I mentioned that there is a website up that answers all the questions that people have asked us. We've had a couple of new questions and we just keep adding to that website and it's open to everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Ellie. Okay, next up is the grant and loan application policy. Marie, do you want to touch on this real quick?
Currently, Page Civil Engineering will not be managing our grants and we will be. And so we need a policy and procedure in place for FAA. So this policy and procedure has gone before Jane already. She has approved it, and this was actually from the town of Upton that we borrowed. Thank you. So, yeah, this is it.
So in, like she was saying, so part of the FAA's deal is we have to have a grant management policy in place. And so our understanding was Sage was doing that, and Armstrong, the new engineer that the airport board had hired, that wasn't part of their task order or whatnot, so we needed to adopt something.
We should have, because the FAA
Yeah.
grants are not the only grants we deal in.
So, yeah, absolutely.
So you're right on that. This would encompass all grants and loans.
And I assume Georgia had a peek at this. You hear me,
Georgia,
Georgia?
you want to unmute?
Yes, I had a very brief look at the one from Upton. And it looked okay.
I mean, there's no sense in passing it if it's not something we can live by,
Yeah.
right? So.
I have a question on director responsibilities. So we go through like the Carbon County School District grant. I submit all that paper directly to them. Will you guys start taking over that packet information and sending it into them?
So the information that you have when you apply, you would bring it here and we would manage that paperwork as it's here. But as far as
Well, it's a voucher program, so I will still collect time cards from everybody and submit that to you guys, and then you guys will submit it.
I'm not sure yet. We'll have to talk about that.
So we'll have to redo the policy once we figure that out then.
I think we probably just will discuss it after the meeting or so.
I think as long as anybody who's the town official or employee, as long as anybody in their own duties and responsibilities is abiding by the policy. then
That's,
covered. It's not really, I don't see this as being like a centralization of one person's the grant manager or anything.
yeah,
I
and I,
understand that.
Well, 4.5 says it's the function of the clerk. So
well, I know like on the fire department side, we've had to put in for grants. I'm trying to remember, I think they were MRG grants. I did everything on the fire department side for it, but it's to make sure that that documentation's here in-house and that the clerk and treasurer have records of it for all their documentation.
We also need it for audit and there's also other management responsibilities that go with it besides submitting information.
Is there a motion to approve the town of Saratoga grant and loan application policy and procedure?
So just to touch on what we were talking about, I see 4.5, it says the clerk and treasurer will be the grant manager. The way I would see this working is the department would fill out the grant. Turned into the clerk and the treasurer for review, for tracking and everything. But I think the department head would be the contact person and do the overall legwork for the grant. Is that the understanding? Rest of the council?
That's my understanding.
Okay, I make a motion that this policy and procedure be accepted.
Second.
All in favor? Next up is the town website.
The new website is now live, townofsaratoga.org. There's a few updates I need to do to it and then asking to redirect all traffic from the old website to the new website. But other than that, let me share it.
Georgia.
So that is the new website. And so you can pay your bill on there, just like how you can with the old website. You can check your minutes and agenda in there. We also have 3 separate calendars. We've broken it down to rec, community, and town. Like I pressed on the rec commission meeting and it says what time. If you click on that, it brings you to the rec page, which shows the information on there. The gist of it.
Will we be communicating when this goes live for the public to use?
It is already live for the public to use.
And then will you have supplemental administrators there? So department heads, or so if Sarah wanted to post something there, does it need to everything come through you, or?
She can post on there if she wants to. I just started learning about it. They kind of send you a information booklet on how to use it. I can send her the same information.
George is tuning her guitar.
Auto harp.
Okay, so with those instructions, Sarah would be able to start updating some things for distribution or announcements and calendars and sites, things, all the links are available. Yes, cool.
Yeah, thanks, Marie, for working on that. I know that quite a bit of time. Next up, under town hall is the workman's comp failure to abate. This letter's in your packet. It says, "Dear Mr. Christian, after reviewing your case file for the inspection that was completed 4/20/2022 at 110 East Spring located in Saratoga, Wyoming, I see we've not received any documentation that the hazards were abated and give you 2 weeks to turn in proof of abatement. To meet the following email address. If you are having difficulty finding a way to complete the abatements, be willing to help you work on a solution. Should you decide not to complete the abatements, I regretfully inform workers' comp safety and risk on December 19th that we no longer have a working relationship and we're closing your file. Workers' compensation, safety and risk pride ourselves on the quality of safety and health inspections we provide you and your employees. We rely on your cooperation in helping us provide you a safe working environment. Without your cooperation, you and your employees will miss out on safety opportunities. As you did not complete the process, please note that you do not qualify for the health and safety consultation employer discount for town of Saratoga. Therefore, no further action will be taken on your application. We do encourage you to provide safety leadership to your employees and seek out other discounts that the state of Wyoming offers for health and safety compliance, respectively. Robert Rippler.
So I spoke with Robert and he said this is just a formality because it's been so long. He said we can open up another case and then send proof that we have done things off of the list. Because I had been in contact with him and told him about the chains and the man basket and the quote for the electricians, but he said it's just so far out. It's better to close it and then reopen it up a new one.
So. Tomorrow, great if I could get a copy, if somebody can print me out a copy of the original audit. Since John's gone now, I'll get with Lexco and Chuck. And I'll mark it up and we can, if we're going to close it and reopen it. We can at least have an update what's been done so that the new one only includes the outstanding items. And I should be able to get that done tomorrow for you.
Okay.
Get it back to
How many violations were there? Or notice to fix, whatever you want to call
There was a bunch, wasn't there? Like,
Yeah.
some of them are as simple as an electrical outlet here, fire extinguisher there, exit batteries for your exit lights. There were some pretty small things in there. And then there, in Public Works, there was some more substantial cost ones. I know we did the lifting chains, the man basket. We did order man basket. That doesn't fit on our forks. So we're in the process of actually sending that back now. And I know John had looked into getting, I think he talked to Wyoming Cat or someone up in Casper. And that one, the one we'd ordered was like $2,500, and the one up there, I think was, $7,500. But he was also looking at having, he was given 2 leads on 2 different guys that could certify the man basket we have right now. My understanding is it's fine. It's not certified. It was one we built. So it doesn't have the stickers and all that on it. And John and Ron probably would know a little more on what you have to have on those types of things. But I know John Lasko had reached out and was trying to see if those guys would come in and certify it. So.
Okay.
Most of the, not most, a good portion of the violations, if you want to call them violations.
Yeah.
Were just things got old, right? So some of our tools weren't double insulated. The chains, for example, didn't have their certs on them anymore. Grinders that didn't have the shields probably didn't even come with them when we bought the grinder. So
I could see that.
so a lot of it's just over time, the stuff that we had doesn't match the current regulations, so. Anyway, I'll do the update on that. As far as man basket, that's what you were talking about for the certs.
So the one we got didn't fit our forks.
Oh, it did.
Where it went in, our forks couldn't get that close, and then our forks are tapered. And so they could only get in a little ways, even if they put just one fork in. So.
Yeah, so it should, if we reordered the new one, that should come with the certs. And then it has to be recertified every year.
I think so, yeah. The one we ordered just wouldn't fit. And so we look for a new one. And we're hoping, I think they're hoping we can get someone to certify the one we have.
Okay.
So. Yeah, anything else, town hall? Okay, moving on to police department.
First off, I got a request for salary increase for Danny Bourne. She completed her training hours and her time in service as a dispatcher, moved up to the advanced dispatcher certification. And I want to bump her up from 1620 to 1720 an hour. This is kind of a deal that I don't know if I explained before. It's a morale booster, but it helps them, it gives them a goal to achieve, knowing that they can get up to a certain level after a certain amount of years. So there's something there for
them. Motion to accept the payroll adjustment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tomorrow, we're gonna, either myself, Ross, or Kaz, we haven't decided yet, but we're gonna be taking a couple children from here up to Walmart and Rollins for the shop as a cop. We've been fairly busy, we've recovered some stolen items that showed up here in our backyard, people dropped off, but they did recover the car that was taken. They found it over in Rollins. They haven't, I don't know about the trailer yet, but there's been some other items that we've been throwing feelers out different places, and we're slowly getting all that stuff back.
Okay. Thanks, chief. Moving on to fire department, in your packets, there's a quote from Ledco for 4 commercial door openers. The door openers over at the firehouse, I think probably were the originals when it was built, and we're having problems with a couple of them sticking where they don't open. And we're having to have guys crawl up on the tops of the fire trucks to get them running or whatnot. Had a little trouble finding many other garage door deals, and this is a local guy. We talked about it at our business meeting at the fire department, and fire department's opinion was if we could get someone local to do it, that way they'd be here to help serve. if they had any issues. When Dusty came down and looked at it, he thought it might be some electrical, but he thought it was so old, it'd be almost cost prohibitive to keep running down the electrical issues and trying to rebuild them. So building new ones would be, was his recommendation.
Make a motion to approve the quote for the fire department. Amount of 4500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then other stuff for the fire department, the guys right now are actually boxing up food for our food drive. It sounded like a good turnout of donations to the elementary school. And we will disperse that tomorrow night. I think we have about 20 families and then 20 seniors that will be dropping off food baskets for the holidays too. So other than that, I don't have anything else for fire department. Rec department.
Start with Amber's letter of interest for you.
Sure, yeah. So we got a letter of interest to join the rec board. It says, Mayor Creed James, I'm writing this letter to express my interest in the Town of Saratoga Recreation Commission Board. I was born and raised in Saratoga, graduated from Saratoga High School in the class of 2004. After moving away for college and career, I moved my family back to Saratoga after we built our forever home in 2020. My husband Joe and I have 2 children, ages 7 and 5 months. I believe that my commitment to the community and the youth of Saratoga make me a good candidate for the Recreation Commission. My experience in leadership and supervision that have taught me to work well with others towards a common goal. I'm good at problem solving, decision making, and resolving conflict to work toward making decisions that are best for the organization and the community as a whole. I'm confident that my experience and commitment will aid me to contribute positively to the Town of Saratoga Recreation Commission. I'm confident that I possess good communication skills that will aid me in communicating effectively with other board members, the public, and the Town of Saratoga council members. You can reach me at 307-321-7667 if you have any questions or would like to discuss my interest in the Recreation Commission further. Thank you for your time and consideration. Amber Waldron.
Is there an opening? I'm good with it. It's nice to get somebody a little younger on the board. It seems like our boards. Nothing against old people, but it seems like our boards have a lot of old people on them. So it's nice to have younger blood. It really is. You need to, and if these people are interested, they may be a future council member. Who knows?
You talked to Amber, didn't you, Sarah? So great candidate.
Yeah, I think so. I think her,
A mean look from Mike. All right.
you're okay.
Thanks.
I'm excited about having Amber on here. Honestly, she, being a local herself, I think she understands what the rest of the board is. And I think she would be a great asset.
Is there a motion to appoint Amber Waldron to the Recreation Commission?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So at the end of December, we reach our annual service agreement renewal for Sports Connect, which is the online processing company for youth sports registration. It's a $300 annual fee plus about $1.25 each registration that we get. We did pass some of the fees on to parents for the convenience of being able to register online, but it would charge us that $1.25. So, and with that permission, or with the motion, I'd like the permission to continue the service agreement with Sports Connect for another year.
Good.
It's been great.
Motion.
Third.
All in favor?
With it being Christmas break for the school, our hours of operation have changed at the gym. This week we are operating Monday through Thursday from 5 in the morning till 3 p.m. The weight room has been advertised closed on the 22nd because I'm supposed to have my new gym equipment installed that day, but they called me moments before the meeting and rescheduled to the 27th due to weather. So we won't be closed on Thursday for the weight room. The 27th, or the gym and weight room will both be closed Friday through Monday for the Christmas holiday. The 27th, the weight room will be closed. And the 27th through the 30th, open gym hours from 9 in the morning till 3 p.m. Members only from 5 in the morning till 9 a.m. And there will be no evening open gym hours until January 3rd. Our fitness classes, this week we will continue our normal schedule. The last week of this month, we will have no classes and we will offer free classes the first week of January to try to boost membership. So that is all for the gym currently. We have our movie day tomorrow in the gym from 12:30 till 3. We'll be showing the movie Elf, which is sponsored by The Malt. We'll serve popcorn and water. And the public is invited to bring pillows, chairs, or sleeping bags for the show. Youth basketball registration will open in January after the holiday break. And we currently have ice skates available to rent that were gifted to the rec department from the school district. And our next Recreation Commission board meeting is January 9th at 6 p.m. Town Hall.
Sarah, I may have missed it, but did you get a date for delivery of the treadmills and rowing machine or anything?
It will be the 27th, weather permitting. This is the third time. This is the third date I've had, so weather permitting, we'll have it
Okay.
the 27th.
We advertised that there was a change in the date.
Of the movie.
No, that our next meeting, the 9th, in lieu of the 3rd.
We have currently. Just stating it at the last meeting. I don't know if that counts.
We need to change and standard from first.
Yeah, I think we can just post it here, can't we? And that,
You can post it at the front door.
yeah.
Anything else, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Move on to Department of Public Works. So water and sewer guys continuing to do their daily rounds and locates. They've had a couple water and sewer calls. They submitted their final samples to Casper to wrap up for the end of the year. They're working on 2 new water services right now. They've been helping the street crew with snow removal. They're working on analyzing the chlorine system at the lagoons. They got called out for low water pressure at 221 West Hugus, ended up being a blown out expansion tank that they replaced. And they're working on the service line to the Woods house. Streets guys right now, plowing and salting streets. They helped on the sewer line on Sharp Street. And helped the water guys on a number of leaks over the last couple of weeks that they've had to clean the drain at 3rd Street. They're working on the loader and dump truck. Doing some tree trimming, lights and fence at Vets Island, moving some of the big snow piles from the big snow last week. Continuing to work on drains, changed out the sander, and they did get the new lights put into their shop. One of the problems they had on their bucket on the backhoe was they were digging and bust off one of the teeth on it. They said that, and I believe that bucket's a Felco bucket. They did reach out to Wyoming Machinery to get a cost of a frost bucket. And when they were talking to them, Wyoming Machinery said that they would trade them straight up for the Felco bucket. And so they got that ordered. And getting that coming. Talking to John Lasko about it, he said he'd like to start doing as a matter of practice is having the frost bucket on during the winter months when they're digging frost and all that, and then they'll put another bucket on, for summertime work. So other than that,
Do they have another bucket for some time?
I believe so. I believe that's what he was saying, and they had this Felco bucket, that they were using, and they'd ordered frost teeth for it month ago, and one of them already busted or something. So they've been fighting that with that. So
Mayor, on behalf of my wife, myself, and Preston Wagner, I'd like to thank the water department for their quick reaction to that blown out pressure tank. We were down an hour or less. They came out, I mean, took a look, fixed it, went on their way. We really appreciate it because we're out of water. I mean, we were down to a trickle.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll be sure to checking the guys know. There's something else I had and I can't change
Changing
it.
rooms.
Oh, yeah, John Lasco stopped by this afternoon. And the changing rooms at the hot pools will be closed from tomorrow through Friday with the extreme cold front coming through. That building, the water runs through the ceiling up in the attic there. And he was concerned that was it last year we had a break in there? John, do you remember?
Last year, before I came up.
We had a pretty bad break in there, so those will be closed for this cold snap that's coming in and they'll be reopened on Friday.
I believe there is money in the budget specifically to complete that installation. That was something we talked about
Yeah,
at budget workshops.
I think I remember I was there.
So obviously it didn't get done, but
I think, didn't John get a quote? Insulating the roof of that?
I know we had I think we had a quote when we budgeted it,
Yeah, I think so.
but
I know you did.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
it was like 11,000 or some 8,000.
I think we appropriated it, if I remember correctly.
so, and that's all I can think of right now for Public Works. So Ron, unless you had anything else to add. Moving on to reports from boards and commissions, Community Center Joint Powers Board.
Only thing I have to report is that we passed the motion to review the proposed agreement from our last meeting, council's meeting. Till after the new mayor and council is seated. In addition to that, to discuss that past due payment for the community center revisit after the new year.
Okay. Your guys' next meeting is the 9th.
That's right, sorry. Next meeting, January 9th, 4:30 at PVCC.
Okay, Water and Sewer Joint Power Board.
Had our meeting last week, did go through the estimate number 3 for the Spring Avenue project with the board. They were in favor of going ahead and making the payment as revised with the LDs on there. So I'd make the motion to approve estimate 3 and sign the lien waiver.
For clarification, John, there's no summary sheet on this pay app, right? Here, there are copies that we have that usually there's a sheet that says % complete.
Yeah,
Pieces of,
it's this sheet.
yeah.
We only got half of it.
And
So it's the
but
other,
is
it's the other columns over here.
right, are the LDs included on the last pages of the sheet?
There were.
Yes,
They are.
Okay.
yeah, so the
I
total,
apologize. I didn't realize it was
Right.
expanded.
yeah, the total amount due on the application was $562,795.67. To that point, the LDs approved were $43,500. And so the amount due on this application minus the liquidated damages is $519,205.67.
And we did talk about some of those % completes on the individual line items.
Like the dewatering.
Just so you know, it was acknowledged and discussed, so
You need a motion or?
I think I made it.
John made a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
And then the other thing that I was asked to take to the council was the board, I forget how the motion was actually worded, but it was, I think they requested, it was, the board requested that the council draft a letter to Lewis and Lewis, notifying them or advising them that regardless of their presence on site or whether they're doing active work or not, they are still responsible to meet the requirements of the plan specs and contract when it comes to temporary access. There was a specific concern addressed about the 100 block of West Spring, and folks not being able to get in and out of businesses there or the church. And so they thought it was appropriate that we send a letter. And so following that, we talked to Creed, reached out to Josh Morris. They did draft a letter for us. And so I think we probably need to tweak that with just a couple words, but get that letter sent off here this week if you guys are in support of that request from the board.
And I can read the letter real quick with the changes you and I discussed.
Okay.
It says, Caleb Tygum, Lewis and Lewis Incorporated, 370 Blairtown Road, Rock Springs, Wyoming. Dear Caleb, the purpose of this letter is to communicate the expectation of upkeeping the roadway surfaces along Spring Avenue construction project limits till the project is complete or for as long as Lewis and Lewis is in control of the work area. For the safety and well-being of the public, it is essential that the driving surface along Spring Ave be maintained and is accessible for residences, businesses, and emergency vehicles. The road surface should be easily traversable by passenger vehicles and clear of any dips, potholes, protrusions, ruts, soft spots, and severe grade breakdowns until construction resumes. The responsibility to upkeep the road is outlined in the following: the CMAR agreement between the town of Saratoga and Lewis and Lewis Inc., Article 2.6.10 and Article 9.3.3, Town of Saratoga Ordinance 18.42.120 and 18.45.030, Wyoming Public Works Standard Specification 2015, Section 02220, Part 3.03.A, and issued Spring Ave construction drawing notice to contractor sheet 1 and roadway general notes 3, 4, 5 on sheet 2. Please continue to monitor the surface conditions regularly and be responsive to concerns raised by the town of Saratoga or Saratoga Carbon County Impact Joint Powers Board. Thank you for your continued cooperation. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me by phone. Sincerely, Creed James, Mayor, Town of Saratoga.
Make a motion to send it.
All in favor?
That is all I have from the Water and Sewer Joint Powers Board. Their next meeting will be January 11th, 2023, 6 p.m. PUCC.
Okay, moving on to Planning Commission. We gotta have a couple variances before us tonight. Greg, if you want to come up, you can kind of fill in if I'm missing anything on it. So this variance here is for the 313 East Bridge. And it's for the setback requirements on it. Most everyone knows the green building wants to go up and over the bridge. Where it's sitting at, Triple D would like to raise the building, put a foundation in, and then do some modifications on the inside, correct?
Yeah, just raising it up, keep the same footprint. I think they're gonna make it a little bit smaller. There's like 2 by 12 foot area that they're gonna take off, but otherwise, same exact location. Just straight up and foundation straight back down.
So the reason this was brought forth for variance, so they submitted an application for building permit, and there was a couple issues that we looked at. It was considered a non-conforming building, and one of the things in our non-conformity clauses talks about, if you're going to do any renovations or anything, it can't exceed 50% of the assessed value. Off the top of my head, I think the assessed value was like $1,500. So with the work they were doing, that was going to exceed that. The next issue was bring it into compliance with ordinances regarding corner setbacks. The town ordinance reads something to the effect of, for the corner setbacks on an intersection, you have to be back, I think it's 20 or 25 foot on that, from that intersection. And this building's been there forever. And they're not wanting to move the building at all. And so that was one of the issues. And so to allow it to be in a front yard corner placement for that. So this did go through the planning and zoning process. There was public hearings before the planning commissions on November 8th and December 13th. The planning commission did make the recommendation to the council to approve the variance, allow them to do what they wanted to do. In your packet, you'll notice all the individuals within the 300-foot surrounding area that were notified. The ones highlighted in blue, they were unable to reach anything. Spoke with Kathy. She tried calling, mailing letters, all that. End of the day, they end up having 12 out of the 18 neighbors signed the petition to approve the variance. One more on that said that they would be happy to submit something in writing if the council felt it was necessary to have more, but it did exceed the 50% threshold. Through the planning commission meeting, we did go over and review the variance checklist, which is included in your packet. These are the 8 findings that we, the council, needs to make, but in there I did note what planning commission, what the planning commission's opinion was regarding those. The first one is will a variance authorize a permitted use other than those specifically enumerated in the zoning district in which the variance is sought? And we felt yes, that it did. Will the literal enforcement of the provisions of this title result in unnecessary hardship and deprive the applicant of reasonable use of his land or building? The planning commission did find that it did as well. Next one is, were the extraordinary circumstances created by the owner of the property and do not represent a general condition of the district in which the property is located? There was some discussion on this, was this created by them or not? And that's in a retail business district, and the ordinance language regarding building on intersections or having that be an issue refers to if there is a front yard requirement. And under retail business, this is where it talked about a front yard setback shall be the width of the sidewalk if there's going to be a sidewalk there. And that's kind of where it became an issue. Obviously, if you look on Bridge Street right down here, we've got buildings right there on intersections where it creates that site triangle or whatnot that we talked about when we extended the no parking area there. But overall, the planning commission found that these extraordinary circumstances weren't created by the owner of the property. Number 4 is, will the variance have granted substantially or permanently injure any adjacent conforming property? Planning commission found that it did not. Number 5, will the variance alter the character of the district in which it is located? Planning commission found that no, it would not. 6 was, will the variance if granted result in extraordinary gain in use, service, or income for the property when compared with adjacent conforming uses in the same district? Planning commission found that no, it wouldn't. 7 is the variance if granted the minimum variance and the least modification that will afford the relief sought? Planning commission found that yes, it would. And 8 is, will the variance be in harmony with the spirit of this title and not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare? We felt that yes, it was in the harmony with the spirit of the title. So I would ask council if they have any issues with any of the.
I just had one question that was asked of me, whether or not that building is actually fully within the property. You know that?
What, say it one more time?
Has there been a survey or anything to verify that it's actually out?
I think he did have it surveyed, yeah. Yeah, I think he had Chuck Bartlett out there, they were doing. That's floodplain and everything marked out there in corners.
Yeah, and that was something that was brought up in the planning commission meeting. I think where some of the confusion might be is looking at the county GIS, which I know can be off in some spots, and I think that was one of the concerns that was asked, and Brian did say that I think the survey pin was there, and Chris Shannon was there as well and said, yeah, there's a pin there.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the planning commission. Variance.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, application for variance in front of you is at 602 North Third Street at the George and Nellie Wood Memorial Ballpark. This variance is to build an accessory building, shed / concession stand within the front yard and front yard setback within 15 feet of West Third Street, where existing non-conforming building was located. The new building will be 320 square feet, 16 by 20 foot, larger than the existing building but will be built off to the west of the existing foundation. This variance was heard before the planning commission with public hearings on November 8th and December 13th with the recommendation of the planning commission to approve the variance. We did go through, there was 7 neighbors within the 300-foot radius that we had to reach out to. One individual we were not able to get a hold of. 5 of them voted to approve the variance and support it. 1 individual did not. That individual's concerns were affecting the view of their property, even though there had been an existing building, increased trash and debris from the ball fields, which I'm on the Little League board and we hadn't had any complaints about trash or debris from that. And then safety concerns about more kids running around down there. We did, the planning commission did go through the variance checklist. So we'll go over those again. It says, will the variance authorize a permitted use other than those specifically enumerated in the zoning district in which the variance is sought? Planning commission found that yes, it did. 2, will the liberal enforcement of the provisions of this title result in unnecessary hardship and deprive the applicant of a reasonable use of his land or building? Planning commission found that yes, it did. Number 3, were the extraordinary circumstances created by the owner of the property and do not represent a general condition in the district in which the property is located. Planning commission found that yes, it did. Number 4 was, will the variance if granted substantially or permanently injure any adjacent conforming property? Planning commission found that no, it wouldn't. Number 5, will the variance alter the character of the district in which it is located? And the planning commission found that no, it would not. Number 6, will the variance if granted result in extraordinary gain in use, service, or income for the property when compared to with adjacent conforming uses in the same district? The planning commission found that no, it would not. Number 7, is the variance if granted the minimum variance and the least modification that will afford the relief sought? Planning commission found that yes, it would. And number 8, will the variance be in harmony with the spirit of this title, not adversely affect public health, safety, or welfare? And the planning commission found that yes, it would be in harmony with the spirit of this title. One thing to note on the planning commission side of it, on the vote on it, it was voted unanimously. Myself and planning commission chair Tom Western did abstain from voting. We are members of the Little League board and we're working with the family to do that. The family couldn't show up for the planning commission meetings and on the application. They did note that I was authorized to be their representative as owners as a proxy in their absence. So I will abstain from the vote, but does anyone have any questions about the variance?
No, I make a motion, we accept the planning commission's recommendation and approve the variance.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same. Okay, not much else to discuss. We didn't have much else at the planning commission. A number of us had kids in the kids concert that night, so our meeting was kind of cut short, so we didn't really go over much else. I know there was brief talk about some different things we're working on, affordable housing and updating some of the ordinances in the retail business district and signage. And there's a brief discussion on short-term rentals. The next planning commission meeting is on January 10th, 2023 at 5:30 at Town Hall Chambers. There will be one vacancy on the planning commission. Tom Westring, the chair, has fulfilled his 5-year term and will not be seeking reappointment. So that's something for the new council. To fill one more seat there.
Stay on it. Oh, you're.
On the council rep, so I'll be.
Can I ask the council to please put a notice up that there is an opening on the planning and zoning?
Absolutely. Murray, could you put that on our new website and notice on the door or something? Okay.
And I have a quick question. And I don't know where it actually falls before you move on. I was asked today that the ice races they're gonna have about food trucks being out there. Can they just obtain a one-time permit? A special event?
It came through the special event permit.
Because if you're operating under a special event permit, then you're permitted to arrange your own food vending.
That's what I thought.
Underneath the special event permit, so it wouldn't fall underneath the new mobile vending permit.
Okay. And that's what I thought, but I wanted to clarify it, and I was just asked that today, so.
I mean, just like they did for fishing derby, right?
Right.
They set up
Right,
food vendors and stuff out there, so
Yeah.
it would just be on that
okay.
applicant to make sure that they've got all the proper facilities.
What I thought, but I just wanted to double check.
Moving on to Saratoga Airport Advisory Board. We have a number of items here to get through. Don, you can have the floor.
Items 20 through 27 are grant reporting work. It's like a they're quarterly or an annual financial report, federal financial report, and it shows what the usage of each of the loan or each of the grants were for the reporting period. So I make the motion that we accept and submit the federal, what's the title? The federal financial reports for grants 28, 29, 30, 33, and 34.
About 35.
I'll do that one too. I don't know if maybe that was getting too ambitious. I'll amend my motion to 35 as well, 28 to 35.
And just to add a little conversation to this, while the rest of the council reviews them, I believe all these were submitted by Dave Schultz from Sage Engineering to close out these grants, and that kind of goes back to the proving the grant management policies and procedures that we adopted earlier. He'd been managing all the grants, and this is just kind of some of the paperwork to close out the year.
Close him out too.
I believe so. I don't know that there's
Not completely, I don't think.
there's the entrance road. Is that complete?
Oh, there's substantially, that's been filed. Oh, there's been filed, so okay, should I have that?
I'll second.
Okay.
Motion.
All in favor?
I,
And then items 28 through 32 are requesting reimbursements for 5 of these grants that are active. Requesting reimbursement 1 is
Entrance road.
for the entrance road. Number 2 is for the entrance road as well. Number 3, looks like it's for the entrance road. Number 4 appears to be sewer improvements associated with the access road. And number 5, item 32. Is for the seal coat and mark project. As I understand it.
Yeah, and I spoke to Ron about this last week and she said we. Obviously, all projects we've been working on and it's all just paperwork we've submitted and just the. Request for reimbursements for those projects.
I'd make the motion to approve and submit request for reimbursements as listed, numbers 1 through 5.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Ron, you need more time?
No, I'm good.
Aye.
I,
Okay, the next meeting is January 9th, 2023 at 3:30 at Town Hall Chambers. Swims.
We received notice that we were granted $280,000 for the ambulance barn in Hannah. So we will be getting to the people on the building over there. Since that there's no other updates, the next meeting is January 16th, 2023 at 6 p.m.
Okay. Is there any other new business? Your motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn. This final council meeting, December 20th, 2022.
I'll second that. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, the next town council meeting will be on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 at 6 p.m.
Fastest you've ever been out of here.
Watch this.
It is since I've been gone.
Yeah, but we intend to break our records next.
Yeah, I know.
Good night, Georgia.